Hello everyone, my name is Debashish Roy. I'm the head of training and development at the Indian Cybersecurity Solution, and I welcome you all to this special webinar today. And today's topic is a very important one for the cloud security of AWS, that is AWS IAM Roles Security. IAM roles means identity and access management. So we'll be discussing what is the IAM roles and how does it affect the cloud security in the AWS. So let's begin. So we'll be discussing AWS IAM Roles Security, and we'll go in-depth exploration of security practices and configurations for AWS IAM role to safeguard the cloud resource. So what is an AWS IAM role? Let's understand. AWS identity and access management roles are essential components in the framework of AWS security. Now it is like the permissions that you are seeing. In the permission, you have the read permission, write permission, modify permission, like these permissions you have. And in case of AWS IAM roles, that is also like the permission, like it is controlling the access, like which service a user can access. So I will make an IAM user, and also I'll show you how to make an IAM user and how to give it some role access. They facilitate secure access management by allowing users and applications temporary permissions to specific AWS resources. So you need some specific services to access. You do not need to open the entire world to the users, that every service the AWS users need to access. No, to some specific service you need to give access to the users. For that, these IAM rules are very much needed, and they enhance overall security in cloud environment. Now what are the IAM rules? IAM rules serve as a security mechanism in AWS that encapsulates permissions to access specific resources, and they empower users, application and services, everything, to perform actions without the need for long-term credentials. So long-term credential means you do not need to give it the permanent access, like a long-term access to the users. No. Say for example, some temporary employee has been deployed. Now he has to access only the EC2 or the S3 bucket. So that way you can give only the temporary access, and it ensures secure and dynamic access management. Now, what are the benefits of using IAM roles? Avoidance of hard-coded credentials. So you do not need to hard-code the credentials, and you do not need to supply to the users every time. Temporary access minimizes the risk of exposing every resource to the user. Streamlined permission management. So you have to manage the permission management effectively. Facilitates role-based access control, or RBAC. Role-based means whatever role the users are in, according to that you have to assign permission. And eases cross-account access sharing. So all these are the benefits of using IAM role. Now you have to understand the role types. Now service roles define the purpose, cross-account roles access, and federated roles integration. So service roles means specific roles for the EC2 or the S3 bucket. Cross-account roles access from one account to the other account. It may be during the IAM roles, you can access from one user's account to the other user. And federated roles integration means you have something known as Active Directory Federation service in the Microsoft environment, if you're talking about the Microsoft AD. So in that case also, you can use IAM. Now creating IAM roles. So how to create the role? First, define role purpose. So you have to clarify the specific task, which tasks are needed and resources the role will manage. Because if you need EC2 instance, and if you are making role for S3 bucket or say Lambda function, it doesn't make any sense. Then choose trusted entities. Identify which users, applications or services will assume the role. Which are the specific users that you need to create. And definitely you need to remember the login credential, like the link to login. There is a IAM user link and there is a root user. So there are two types of users that you need to make. Then attach policies. Select and attach AWS policies that grant necessary permissions to the role. So whatever policy you want to give the user, only that policy you give, others not. Then review and create, evaluate role settings and finalize the creation to enforce the security measures. So everything you review and then you create the role. Then best practices for IAM role security. Then what are the best practices? Implement auditing procedures regularly. You have to implement the auditing procedures, means log entry. You have to maintain limit role assumption duration, means for how long the role will be effective. Document role usage and policies, that is logging, auditing, and review permissions with stakeholders. Now, what are the common security risks? You have to identify potential vulnerabilities also in IAM roles, like over permission roles. Roles that have excessive permission may lead to unauthorized access, increase the risk of data breaches. So, if you're having some roles, if you have misconfigured the IAM roles and you have given too much permission or security to the IAM role, like you can give full control, like the issue instance launch, but you need only read only access. So, what will happen? Full control means if the user will be able to launch and delete the instance when you do not need that. That is a security breach. Now, stale roles. Roles that are no longer required can create security gaps and should be regularly reviewed and removed. So, these are the like the stale records or the old records you have and you haven't removed it. So, what will happen? Definitely, it can be misconfigured. It can be misused by other users. So, you must remove it. The lack of monitoring. Without proper monitoring and auditing, unauthorized or inappropriate access to resources may go unnoticed. So you have to monitor the IAM rules. That not only that you have made a role and it's open to the world, you are not monitoring. No, you have to monitor it, posing a significant security threat. Now, monitoring and auditing IAM roles, you should ensure the security and compliance of AWS IAM roles through effective monitoring and auditing practices. Like ongoing means set up AWS CloudTrail events to enable detailed logging of all actions taken by IAM roles. So CloudTrail, as you know, like CloudWatch, it also logs all the actions taken by IAM roles, providing an audit trail for monitoring usage and anomalies detection. Then monthly, regularly review IAM Access Analyzer findings to identify any permissions granted that may pose security risk. So monthly, you have to also check it every month. Ensures that role adhere to the principle of least privilege. Now, what is the principle of least privilege? Least privilege means that you will give user the minimum access, minimum privilege, or the minimum permission. You will not give users more permission. Then quarterly, conduct periodic audits or quarterly audit of IAM roles and permissions to ensure that the compliance with organizational security policies are met and to identify stale roles that may no longer be required. So you have to maintain that quarterly audit and you have to remove the roles. So this is about the monitoring. And in the key takeaways in the conclusion, we can say that AWS IAM roles play a very critical role in managing the secure access to cloud resources because permissions in say OS level also, if you consider, there also it gives the users access to specific resources. There is role based access control is like the discretionary access control is DSL in Microsoft. By implementing best practices and understanding the various role types and recognizing their benefits, any organization can effectively mitigate security risk and improve their overall security posture. So that is about the AWS IAM roles and security that we have learned it theoretically. What is the AWS IAM role and how to implement it? And now I will take you to the AWS console. As you can see, this is the AWS console, and here we are having identity and access management that you can search, and you can search for IAM, and there you are. You can see the user groups, users, roles, policies, anything and everything you can see. So in the users, first you need to create a user. So let's say I'm creating a user. So I says 1, 2, 3, 4, any name you can give. And you have to check this, provide user access to the AWS management console. It is optional, but anyway, you need to check that. Otherwise, the user won't be able to access the AWS management console. Now, definitely, I do not want that. Now, I want to create an IAM user. Check that. Console password, it can be auto-generated password or it can be custom password. Auto-generated means the user password will be generated by the AWS itself. But I want to create my custom password, so select this option and give a password like capital I CSS, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you have to actually give this password like I have given. So this is a very complex one and big password. And user must create a new password next sign in is recommended. That what will happen, the users when they will log in, they will have to change the password mandatorily, but I am not checking it right now. Next, and here you have to not add user to group or copy permissions. You select the attach policies directly, and here you see the AWS IAM policies. Here you search for Amazon EC2 read only access. If you search, as you can see, Amazon EC2 read only access. So it means that in the EC2 instance, it's not allowed the full access, it is allowed only the read only access. So it won't be able to launch actually the EC2 instance. Now click on next, and everything is fine. Now click on create user. User created successfully, and this username is 1234, and this is the password, and this is very important. This is the sign in. So you can copy, and also you can go to Notepad or any search editor, and you can paste it. So this is the link. This is very important, because otherwise if you forget it, you won't be able to log in. So now you just paste it, the browser, and now this is the IAM user name. So give the name, css1234, and the password, and sign in. Now if you sign in with IAM user, you see one thing, that the root user gets signed out, because in AWS only one user can log in, not both users. And see, every access is denied, even the access denied to service catalog. So because it is only having the read only access. Now let's check by go to EC2. Now you click on the instances. Now attempt to actually launch an instance. Any instance you can launch. Actually launch instance. Maybe Windows, maybe Red Hat, any instance. Maybe Microsoft Windows Server 2025, 2029, anything. Instance type. Keep here event, do not need to select. And firewall rules, everything, network settings, be it the default. And just click on launch instance and verify if the instance you can launch. Keep here, proceed without keep here, select, and click on launch instance. Yes. Now you see the instance launch has failed, and an error has come that you are not authorized to perform this operation, because it is not authorized to perform this operation because it has the read-only access, EC2 read-only access, and EC2 read-only access will not give you the permission to launch an instance. You have to give the full access. If you give the full access to the user, then you will be able to launch the instances. So this is, see, this is signed out. So you have to sign in again with the root user. So this is about the IAM user, IAM policy that I have shown you practically. So IAM is not a very big thing. It is, say, in case of the AWS Solution Architect Associate, it is not a very big thing. But in the AWS security specialization, it is having many things. It is having, even if you go to this IAM, you have the MFA, the multi-factor authentication, but it is not showing here, because you have to sign out and you have to sign in as a root user, sign to the console, and only then you will be able to actually sign using the root user, and then you can do it. So let me sign in with the root user again. And as you can see, it is asking for the MFA, multi-factor authentication, and I have the Google Authenticator in my mobile, so I have to give the MFA code here to sign in, because the AWS now requires you the multi-factor, not only the two-factor. Yes, now it is being logged in. And just click on recently visited service IAM, and you can see the root user has MFA. So you can configure the MFA keys also, multi-factor authentication, and manage access keys. So you can do a lot in case of IAM, but maybe not in that solution architect associate, but the professional level and the AWS security specialization level MFA keys are there. So these are the practicals that also I have shown you, not only the theoretical thing. And this will be very helpful in your exam purpose and also for your enterprise level. So this is the AWS IAM that I have discussed with you theoretically, and also we have done practicals of the IAM. And as you know, IAM, maybe it is a small topic in case of the AWS basic part, but it is a very important topic for AWS cloud security. And I have prepared a questionnaire on this webinar. I have 10 questions for you, and if you can give at least 8 correct answers, you'll be eligible for a certificate. So that's a very good news, and just think about it, you can get a certificate by answering the 8 easy questions. And also, I have an offer for you. If you enroll in any course today itself, you will get flat 10% off for today. So I encourage everybody to enroll in this course as soon as possible. And as a very senior cloud trainer and network trainer, I can guide you for this AWS certifications. And as you know, AWS certifications are sky high for demand in market. So that is it about the AWS IAM Roles Security webinar for now. And I again thank you for joining and watching this webinar. And I hope that it was very informational and very knowledge. You have acquired a great knowledge from this webinar, and you'll be able to incorporate this knowledge for your study for the AWS certifications. And also, you can incorporate this knowledge in the enterprise network in AWS cloud security. And everybody should go for the cloud security and AWS networking as a whole, because AWS has no limit and cloud is limitless, and the potential for job market is limitless in the cloud nowadays. And security is always optimum to the cloud security. So that is about the AWS IAM role security and cloud security for now. And I will come with some new topic next day. Till then, keep studying and bye.